Merry Christmas to everyone. I'm in my wash bay. I had big plans to go out and wash the M3, work on the IK foamers and figuring out dilutions, see if they're viable, see if I even care to have foam for the wheels and tires. And yet it's about 55 degrees and I'm just not feeling it. So I figured I'd just set up the camera. I've been getting lots and lots of DMs, lots of questions about what's going on with this whole 1M thing. What the heck was I thinking? What's the thought process there? So I figured I'd talk a little bit about that today and just maybe update you on what's going on. You get Big Eye Maddie today because my darn contacts broke in half. I've had contacts since I was 15. I've never ever broken one. And I have semi-hard, they're called gas permeables because my eyesight is so bad. And so I have these contacts that I always have just one pair and the thing broke. So I'm trying to get them to overnight one. So hopefully Thursday or Friday I'll have it. So this will be probably the longest period in the last 25 years of my life that I've had to wear glasses. So I guess I've got to just keep doing my thing, keep living life, even though I don't have my contacts. So I'll try to keep my eyes a little squintier like they normally are, so I don't look like a crazy person. So I'm sitting in here. You guys can't see it, but I've got the wheels with these are Apex wheels with R888s, R888 Toyo Proxies. I've got the orange Valencia orange trunk over here on the right. So the guy I bought the car from, the 1M from, brought me some of the stock parts up here, so that and I signed the title or I got the title, we signed it and did bill of sale and all that stuff. So the 1M is officially mine. I have to go register it, but I won't have the car until probably, my guess would be next week. I'll explain that in a minute. So here's the story. I've said this 50 times over the last year now, when I kind of worked my way back from having 5 cars down to 3 cars. The Gen 1 Raptor, the E92 M3, and then my 991.1 GT3 RS. That was the goal. That's what I want. I don't want to have a bunch of cars, and so that's been my thought process to date. Is I thought I wanted to be this collector of cars, and I thought I wanted to have all the cars that got away, and I learned my lesson on that, and I'm wound way too tightly for that to be a realistic, and I prefer to have just a few cars to focus on. Well, that changed this week. So I'm okay with admitting when I'm an idiot and when I'm not. This one's probably a stupid move. But I was down at Adam LZ's his open house in Orlando, and he and PSI is who does all my BMW work. Buy most of my stuff from. Sean at PSI is a good friend of mine, and we were just sitting there chatting about some different M cars and when I'm going to do the M3. I bought my HREs and Brembos and some things from him, and there was a 1M sitting there. And I said, yeah, I could see myself owning something like that someday. And he said, yeah, we're taking this one apart. The guy's selling it. And I said jokingly, I said, well, shoot, I should buy it. And he said, yeah, we're in the process of putting it back to stock. And we just took out the M Performance seats. And I'm like, M Performance seats? I'd love to have those. How much are those things? Aren't they like 10 grand? He said, no, they're and I think he'd probably sell them for $4,000 to $5,000. He said, but the issue is it has the orange piping that he had custom done on the seats, and obviously that wouldn't match your E92. So I started thinking, I'm like, man, I'd love to put those seats in my E92, and I could either have the piping redone, or maybe it's not too late, we could do orange calipers to match the orange piping and then do like an orange, because I just ordered the M Performance steering wheel, do like a little orange little thing at the top, a little center mark at the top of the wheel. I could have I&D do that for me custom, and so I was thinking about this as a possibility, and putting those seats in the car. And while I'm thinking about that, I started thinking about, well, shoot, maybe I should just buy that 1M. And so devil on my shoulder, angel on the shoulder are fighting back and forth. The car, he wanted $60,000 for it, as is, or $45,000 stock. Car has 40,000 miles on it. And Sean said, yeah, the guy, Alan, he takes really good care of it. We've done all the service. It's either us or Real Street up in North Orlando. And he started listing some of the things. It has a Cobb tune, so it dynoed at 380 wheel horsepower and 480 foot-pounds of torque at the wheels. Has their RSV wheels on it. Yeah, it's a set of Apex that are sitting here. Has what else does it have? It had the M Performance seats. It had a cracked windshield, which happens, so it would need a new windshield. The interior is pretty pristine. And he's like, you should drive it. I'm like, I don't want to drive it because I want it. So then, I'm talking to different people at the Adam LZ event. I'm like, man, I should. What do you think? Should I buy this thing? And so the general consensus was yes. And so my gears started turning here. I said, I really don't want another car. I don't need another project. I've got 1,000 projects going on. I got this pressure washer thing I'm doing. I've got the E92, the wheels, the suspension, the brakes. The interior stuff is all coming, so I'm getting my E92 put together, and so I'm sitting there thinking, I really shouldn't do this. But really, there wouldn't be much I would do to the 1M. It's already tuned. It already has AST 5100 coilovers. Those are made by Moton. So there's an awesome suspension on it. The one thing I thought I would do would take the wheels off my M3, have them refinished, probably powder-coated black, and then put those on the 1M. I don't know, something about the 1M, I like the way it looks with the stock ZCP wheels with a tiny, tiny little spacer just to get them flush. So anyway, I'm sitting there and my buddy Alan, I know I didn't know at the time, I didn't know that the Alan that owned the car was the Alan, that's my buddy, who I knew had a 1M. He sent me a text because he saw me post on Instagram just as a joke. He said, hey, should I buy this car? And so he posted, hey, if you want to know about the 1M, let me know. And so I didn't make the connection that the 1M was his 1M. For like a couple of hours at the event, I'm texting back and forth with them. And then finally it dawned on me, wait a minute, that's his car. And then I really wanted it. And so I went home on that weekend and started looking up different things I would do to the car. And started thinking about, man, it'd be really cool. This is a really opportune time to experience a 1M in combination with my, the same generation E92 M3, so the same generation cars. They made about 800 came to the US, the 1M in 2011, in a short model year, 2011 only. And I'm not an orange car kind of guy, but I don't know, something about the one in orange is kind of cool. And so all of this kind of came together. I'm starting to think about, maybe I should buy this thing. And then I started thinking, I've been thinking about this for a while. What I'd like to do, I have a YouTube channel. To date, I kid you not, I haven't done a single video where it was like I was contriving it, where I made up, oh man, I'm going to make do this just for the video. Every single thing I've done is just stuff I was going to do anyway. Outside of maybe, going and putting Adam's garage together, which again, I would have helped him do it with or without the camera anyway. So this will be the first time that I'm buying this car just to experience it. Now, without the camera, I would have wanted to experience it anyway. But with the camera, with YouTube, with Instagram, with my now social presence, I just think it makes it justifiable to get the car, keep it for a little while, and then do something else with it. So at least that's the intention. We'll see. Maybe I'll fall in love with the thing. I still haven't driven it. I know I'm a crazy person. I like to just buy a car and then experience it rather than driving it and then making an intelligent decision. I prefer to just get the thing and do what I need to do with it and then sell it if I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to like it on paper. So, here's what I'm thinking. The 1M's going to come. I'm finishing up the E92 build. Hopefully I can get these pressure washers done in the next couple of weeks so I can get that off my plate and I can focus a little bit on comparative stuff. I'd like to do a bunch of different stuff with the 1 versus the E92. Set them both up the way I would want them set up. Tuned with the proper wheels, tires, exhaust, suspension, all of that stuff. The 1M has a Acura slip-on, has a HKS blow-off valve, and I forget what downpipe it has. I'll probably just leave all that. I say that now. It has PPF on it. I'll probably end up yanking all the PPF off, paint correcting it, and then I'm probably going to coat it with G-Technic Crystal Serum Light and XOV4, and top that with Bead Maker. I'm probably going to do that to it. Like I said, I'll put the ZCP wheels back on, the competition package wheels for my U92 refinished in black, and the M Performance seats are going back in it now. So that's what's taking me a week or so to get the car. But I'm going to do a lot of back-to-back comparative stuff, E92 to, I guess it's called it was an E82 1M. So compare my E92 M3 naturally aspirated to the twin turbo N54, and just do some back-to-back stuff. This is what frustrates me so much about the F80 is, the N54, the twin turbo N54 and the 1M or the 335i sounds great. It sounds awesome. The blow-off noise is cool, and the exhaust note is cool, but the S65 and now the M2 competition and the F80, F82, F83, M3 sounds terrible. Even though it's probably a better engine, it has a higher red line, has much more linear power, less turbo lag. Everything about the S65 is better, but it's just not S65, S55, sorry. Everything about the S55 is better, but it's just not, it just sounds terrible. And so that the overall experience of that motor is just no good in my world. So the 1M comes here next week or so, and then we'll make it a little bit of a project, but I don't have to do suspension, exhaust, tune, or do any of that stuff. The interior is pretty well sorted out. So I'm going to just experience it and not have to do as much as I'm doing to the E92. We'll see. Maybe I'll put brakes on the 1M as well. But here's something I'd like your input on. So, a lot of these YouTube people, a lot of YouTube channels become kind of almost played out to some extent as to do a giveaway. Right? I don't even like that term giveaway. It's just stupid. No one's giving away anything. You're selling either stuff or tickets or raising money, and they're raising generally a lot more than what the car actually cost them. Right? So to call it a giveaway is a little bit odd and kind of turns me off. So I don't want to do a stupid giveaway if I don't have to. So there are legally, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of you that moonlight as attorneys that really don't know much about this, but it's pretty simple in that there are state by state, there are specific rules in lottery and gambling and things like that. And then there are the obvious tax implications of if the car is raffled or given to somebody, that they would have to be able to pay the tax. And so that creates or presents a potential problem that really I don't give a crap about. It's on them to pay the tax. But one of the things that I've considered doing for a while now is that if I were to do some sort of raffle or giveaway, it's not that I can do it better. It's that I'm going to buy a car and sort it better than most because I'm obsessed. And then imagine giving away or raffling off a 1M, which would be an amazing car. It'd be a life-changing thing for, even if I won one, it'd be life-changing. It'd just be amazing. And then of course the non-benevolent side of it would be I would gain exposure and giving away a car like that. Yeah, but the main reason for me, selfishly, the main reason why I would want to do it, if I could raise more money than I paid for the darn car. So let's say that I could do a raffle, which I think is problematic from a legal perspective. I would much prefer to do a raffle where you pay $50, you get a ticket. If I sold 2,000 tickets, I'd raise $100,000. I paid say 60 for the 65 for the car when it's all said and done. I make $35,000 that I can then go reinvest in whatever the next car I buy, and do the same thing. And the main purpose would be to allow me to have that fourth car, or that fourth car that's always turning over. And I have a vision for I'd buy a Corvette and sort that out and get it set up the way I would want it, and then do a similar thing, and I would do other cars that I've always wanted to experience. Maybe shoot, if it became lucrative enough, maybe I'd be like a 600 McLaren's 570S or a 600 or a 675 LT or something like that. A car that I don't really want. Like, I don't want a ZR1 Corvette, but I wouldn't mind having one for 6 months or 5 months and playing with it, really experiencing it, and then learning things that I didn't otherwise know. Taking it apart and putting parts on it, and then raising enough funds to get the next car, and then of course the exposure of it would be cool. But I don't want to do it douchey, because I could just sell the car. Like the 1M, I could use it for 3 or 4 months and sell it for some number close to what I paid for it, maybe a little more, a little less, like I did with my S2000. So I bought the car. I spent $70,000 on all the stuff I put in on it, and I sold it for 65. I gained tons of attention because of the car. I wanted to do it. I got it out of my system, so it's a win-win for everybody. So I'd like your opinion on what you thought about. I think I have to call it a giveaway, otherwise it's not it's not legal. But I would do it in a little bit different fashion, and I tell you what's going on here. I bought the car. I'm going to sell the car. I don't know when, and so I'm going to sell the car. So I could either just try to sell it traditionally, or I could do something to maybe sell it, but give it away for a little bit more than what I could have otherwise, and somebody gets the car that would really appreciate it, or at least could be life-changing for them, and then it's on them to figure out how to pay the tax. If I paid the tax, then they'd have to pay tax on the tax, and it's just a never-ending loop of having to pay the tax. Then it would have more income, so that doesn't work. So anyway, something I'm considering doing with this car. I bought it this year. The main purpose I bought it right now is to, for the tax implications of it. I bought the S2000 this year. I sold the S2000 this year, and so I had to recapture the depreciation I took on the purchase of the S2000. And so I bought this year. This year is a really rather precarious tax year for me. Because I exited the wealth management business. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm going to have a pretty significant taxable event that I'm going to have to bite the bullet on, and so it'd be better off realizing any gain or recapturing the overall depreciation of having less vehicles next year than this year. So that's another reason why I bought this car selfishly really quickly. So I'm thinking about it from multiple angles. I get the write-off this year. I get hopefully the additional new people to follow what it is I'm doing. I get to maybe either sell it in the future and experience the car, or maybe do something even bigger, which is to give the car away in the not too distant future. I'm thinking maybe I'll have the car for 6 months. Worst case scenario, I absolutely love the thing and I keep it, and maybe I sell the E92 or something like that. Anyway, that's the plan. So the interim plan is to figure out what I'm going to do with the paint, get the wheels set up, make sure all the parts, aftermarket parts, are what I want. Maybe do a paint correction series. Regardless, I'll be dealing with the PPF and correcting that. The car's in great condition, so it's not even in the same league as jacked up as the paint was on my M3, my Le Mans Blue M3. So it won't be that big of a deal to get it corrected and protected, and then do lots of driving stuff, lots of comparative stuff of E92 to 1M or M3 to 1M, and just talk about the car a lot, and make lots of videos on it. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. I'm going to work on these IK foamers a little bit to figure out the dilutions. I did play with the little 1.5 foamer, and you need to dilute 10 to 1, not 5 to 1 with most wheel cleaners. It just clogs it up too much. That's why it was dribbling out in 2 seconds. So orange nozzles and changing the dilution on it. But ultimately, I think the IK9, the bigger one, is the one that we probably need to use. Same thing, the orange nozzle in there, and probably mixing up 10-to-1. And I got to get a hold of Auto Fanatics' new wheel cleaner to try that. I'm not unhappy with the way that I clean wheels now. And I've got a new bottle, which you saw a little glimpse of in the last video that I did of washing the M3. But I got some new bottles that are pretty sick, I think. I need to do some more testing on them. I've been beating my head against the wall trying to get this company to let me buy them in quantity. They're not available in the US. They're very sparsely available in other parts of the world. So if it's what I think it is, which to date it's the bottle I've been searching for, it's pretty insane. The only disadvantage to them is if you held it on a side and shook it aggressively, there will be a drip or so out of the where the connection is. But it's other than that, it's pretty much perfection. It's kind of funky looking, but if I can figure out how to make a really cool label, my vision is to have all of these spray bottles from all these various companies to have sort of a generic Obsessed Garage label where it says car shampoo and wheel cleaner and rubber and tire cleaner, and then you can choose to put whatever the heck you want in it, and then have all your bottles match, which is my longer term vision. And then even longer term would be for me to just sell you all the stuff that comes from these companies, negotiate with them to allow me to just put their stuff in my bottle. And then hopefully, if it's good enough, I'll sell the bottles to the other detailing companies and change the world, if you will, as far as sprayers are concerned. So anyway, I'm close. I'm working on it, but now it's dealing with a language barrier and attempting to get them here in large quantity. And then where the heck am I going to put them? So anyway, 1M's coming. I've got the buzz for redoing this. The drawers here, I made a mistake when I designed this. I have the 4 drawers behind me, but I do have tools at the house. The original intent was this was going to be the wash bay, and then I'd build a garage really quickly. And we're coming up on 3 years, and I still don't have the garage. And now all my cash is going to the darn, to OGHQ. So the garage is still on hold here. And so what I might do is, I've already taken the TV out of here, so I'm putting 4 uppers, and then I might swap these for 6 drawers. And then I'm going to fit the Sonic tools in here. So I do have some tools in this wash bay. I'm going to repaint the same color, but I'm going to have the painters come and repaint. I'm going to put something on the windowsills because they get beat up too much. And it's time for me to finally, I've been doing a case study out here. I've never vacuumed out here, this flooring, and it's bug crazy and dirt crazy out here. So there's tons and tons and tons of dirt under the Swiss tracks. So I'm going to make a video series about I'm going to pull some of the floor out and vacuum. I'll show you vacuuming up through the floor or pulling the floor out and cleaning it. So the wash bay is going to get a version 2.0 soon. I'm also going to be putting a osmotic drying system, putting compressed air out here as well. And so I'm going to be doing a 2.0 version. I've got a new deionizing system that I'm going to be coming out with here soon as well. A much more stout version, not as pretty as the CR Spotless. So the CR Spotless still has its place. But I've got 4,000 gallon capacity type unit that I'm going to be coming out with. So I've been getting antsy about this, but now I just bought a darn other car that's going to take some time. And then again, I'm working on finishing out the pressure washing project. The configurators are basically done. The packages I'm building in the store, so you'll be able to go Ryobi, Greenworks, all the way down the list. Once I get the Ryobis and the ARs and the Sunjos out of my garage, I'll order the Stanleys, the Briggs & Stratton, maybe the Harbor Freight Portland hunk of crap, which is some variant of the Karcher or something like that, and which is the same thing as the entry level Sunjos, or the entry level AR Blues or Karchers. Yeah. I've got the order, the mid-tier, the crappy Sunjo 9004, 9007 that everybody's so excited about. I'll tell you right now, I haven't used it, but I'm telling you, newsflash, the thing's a piece of crap. So don't get too excited about that. I'm going to let you down on that. The AR Blue is not a piece of crap, but it's $800. So why not just spend the extra $150 and get a Krenzle? And so that that doesn't help you a whole heck of a lot. I know that some of the ARs you can find for $650 from some shady online dealer, but then you run the risk of, if you have an issue with it, it becomes problematic. I have the Comet as well. I don't know if the Comet's going to be viable. The Comet right out of the box, I got one of them. The operation's decent, but the rest of it's really clunky, where the water goes in, the hose reel, everything it comes with is garbage. So you're going to spend $600 on it and have to spend another $400 to make it work and make it function reasonably well. So I'm going to be figuring out if that's a viable solution. Amos and Ivan, who's done a lot of work to improve that machine, has been working on that. So maybe we can work together to make that a viable, $700 all-in type solution. I just don't think it's possible. The cost of the unit and then all the accessory stuff it comes with. I think the only chance we have is if we can get Italy to just send us the pump in an enclosure, and then do our own hose reel and stuff, and make a solution that's a bit more viable. So anyway, I'm working on that. I've been after a mid-tier solution forever, and it's just not as easy as you think. There's a reason why the Krenzle family has 80 years into this pump. I've chased it. I've gone to CAT. I've gone to General Pump to say, could I make something like this in a $400 or $500 package? You just can't. You end up with a really loud, really obnoxious, a pump that draws 25 amps. You just end up with a clunky solution. I mean, Cam Sprayer, there's a bunch of different companies that have these mid-tier solutions, but they're just not, you're always giving up something. You have to either give up pump quality, which I'm not willing to do, or you end up with something that's really odd that just won't work. And the fit and finish just isn't there. So every time I've gone down this path more times than you could possibly imagine, and it just isn't as viable as you'd think. I've gone so far as hired a person to help me think about crafting or designing our own pump from scratch. But again, you get to $2,000 before you know it, just to match the output of a Krenzle, and then you end up with a machine that's fit and finish is nowhere near as good. So if you're going to put it in a closet somewhere and hide it and never take it out, then yeah, we can beat Krenzle specs all day. But we have an inferior pump design, we have an inferior quality, we have inferior fit and finish. It just doesn't work like you'd think. So anyway, the pressure washer project, I've got to focus on finishing that up over the next week or so. It's hard because I gave everybody off for 2 or 3 days here at HQ, and so and I've got to spend time with the family and stuff and not run myself into the ground. So the pressure washing project is a lot. Again, that is a lot bigger than you'd think. Making it so that you guys can go online and order the stuff and make it as simple as possible. So just bear with me on that. So anyway, wash bay updates, HQ updates. I need to do a formal tour of HQ on video here for you. I'm waiting for my countertops and center cabinet and getting all of my drawers organized and all my tools set up there. Air tools are coming. All the Prevost stuff will be up in the store here shortly. The bucket configurator, so you can build some version of the bucket with all different color, the rinse, wash wheels. You can get them in different colors or whatever combination you want and build your own. We're now doing it at HQ rather than drop shipping it. The prices have fallen a little bit. So yeah, I'm doing my thing. Interior package, lighting package, waiting for the new ScanDesign stuff to come out. So that I'll have that package for you here soon. It'll be a combination of a Phoenix PD35 2.0, the new pen light, the new mini match, the new little, all the mini stuff, cute, including the longer lights. I'll have all that stuff coming out here soon as well. New Rupes Mark III. Rupes event, there's still some spots. It's in it's in what, 4 weeks from now. There's still some spots available. So if you want to come out, I marked the price down to $750. So if you want to come out, sign up for that. There's 26 people signed up. So this is going to be the one to come to. I just picked a weird time of the year, and I did it really close to the last event. So if you want to come, if you haven't done that, sign up for that. Advanced class I'll have set up here shortly. That's going to be, I think, second week in March. I'm going to offer that to all the Rupes alum first. It's going to be $1,500. It's going to be 2.5 days. There are going to be 2 different sessions. So a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the first class of 10 people, and then a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the second class. As soon as I finish the pressure washing project, I'll get on creating that and making sure and inviting people to that. That'll be coming up here soon. So anyway, long as usual update. 1M is going to be sick. I'm excited about this thing. I think it's going to be cool. So 1M's coming. My 500 burpee challenge is coming, and I still owe Chris for losing the last weight loss challenge. Those of you are excited. Today's day 1 of intermittent fasting, so I'm starting this. I'm doing a 16 to 18 hour fast every day to see if my body responds to that. And that's what's going on. My tooth is going to get yanked here in a few months, so hopefully I can get back to sanity. I got a new psychiatrist. I've gone on a beta blocker to see if that can help with my vasovagal and hopefully get me back to balance here and get me driving wherever I want to drive again. But anyway, that's the story. Thanks for watching. Thanks for this year. I'll probably have another 15 videos before the end of the year. Anyway, I wanted to update you today on the 1M and what's going on with that. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more crazy. I'll have my contacts in the next video. Because what happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, to the floor.